All right, get ready to explore the quantum realm. It's a world where particles can be in two places at once.
Yeah, quantum mechanics can seem complicated, but these phenomena are happening all the time, even in life itself.
Really? I know quantum mechanics is behind things like lasers and electronics,
Mm.
but how does it connect to biology, to life?
Well, to understand that, we need to look at some core concepts of quantum mechanics. Let's start with wave-particle duality. In the quantum world, particles like electrons can be both particles and waves.
Wait, how can something be both a particle and a wave? That seems impossible.
I know it's not something we see every day, but experiments have shown that at the subatomic level, particles act this way, and it leads to some amazing things. For instance, it's the wave-like behavior of electrons that lets us build powerful microscopes, like electron microscopes. They can magnify things way more than regular microscopes.
Right, electron microscopes. I've seen those incredible pictures of viruses and even atoms. So being able to see the building blocks of life relies on this quantum duality.
Exactly. And wave-particle duality is just the beginning. Another cool thing is quantum tunneling. Imagine throwing a ball at a wall. It's going to bounce back, right?
Yeah, unless I suddenly get super strength, it's definitely bouncing back.
But in the quantum world, a particle can sometimes pass right through the wall as if it tunneled through it. This is because of their wave-like nature. Particles have a chance of being on the other side of a barrier, even without enough energy to get over it normally.
So it's like they can just appear on the other side, like magic. But does this tunneling actually matter in the real world?
Absolutely. It's more important than you might think. Quantum tunneling is crucial in nuclear fusion, the process that powers the sun.
Wait, so the sun's energy depends on this quantum phenomenon. That's amazing.
Exactly. The heat and pressure inside the sun aren't enough for hydrogen nuclei to overcome their repulsion and fuse. But thanks to quantum tunneling, some of them bypass that barrier and fuse, releasing the energy that supports life on Earth.
Wow, this quantum phenomenon is responsible for our star. So we've got this bizarre quantum effect essential for the sun.
It shows how the microscopic quantum world impacts the universe we see.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these out there quantum ideas underpin some pretty fundamental stuff, but I bet there's more. What else is there?
Well, there's quantum superposition. This takes duality to another level. It says that a quantum particle can be in multiple states at the same time.
Okay, my brain is starting to hurt. Can you give me an example? What does that actually mean?
Sure, think about the deuteron, a heavy hydrogen nucleus. It's got a proton and a neutron. These particles have a property called spin, like a tiny rotation. Now, in a deuteron, both the proton and neutron can spin in two directions, and they need to be in a specific combination of these spins to bind together and form a stable deuteron.
So they have a cosmic dance routine to stay together.
Right. But here's the quantum part. They're not in one spin state or the other. They're in both spin states at the same time. This superposition is what allows the deuteron to exist.
So the deuteron exists because of this quantum weirdness. What if we looked at the spins of those particles, like measured them?
That's where things get even weirder. When we measure a quantum system, it picks one state. We call it wave function collapse. If we measured the proton and neutron spins in the deuteron, we'd only find one specific configuration. But before we measured, they were in both states at once. And that's important because if particles couldn't exist in superposition, our universe would be very different.
Okay, I think I'm getting the strangeness of this. Observing something changes it.
You got it. That's what baffled physicists for so long and still challenges our understanding of the universe.
Well, if superposition's mind-blowing, I can only imagine what quantum entanglement is like.
Yes, entanglement. That's where quantum mechanics gets really wild, where particles are linked beyond space and time.
Okay, break it down for me. What does it mean for particles to be entangled?
Picture two particles that interacted in the past. Even after they separate, they stay connected in a way we don't normally understand. If you measure one entangled particle, you instantly know the state of the other, no matter how far apart they are.
It's like they have an invisible thread connecting them. But how? Doesn't information have a speed limit?
That's classical thinking. Entanglement is a quantum thing where particles don't communicate like we know it. It's much deeper. They share a single existence, even when apart.
This spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it, is crazy. It seems to break the laws of physics.
You're right, it challenged even Einstein. He thought we were missing something. But experiments show entanglement is real. It's one of the biggest mysteries of quantum mechanics.
This is all fascinating and a bit much to take in. but I'm ready to hear how these quantum phenomena play a role in living things.
Well, that's what we'll talk about next time.
Okay, let's dive into quantum biology. We've talked about entanglement and superposition, but how can they exist in a cell? It's messy and chaotic in there. Wouldn't all that movement just destroy those quantum states?
That's what scientists used to think. It seemed unlikely quantum phenomena could survive in a living system. But research is showing us that quantum mechanics doesn't just exist in biology. It might be essential for some processes.
So where is quantum mechanics happening in living things? What evidence is there?
Well, one amazing example is avian navigation, specifically how birds like the European robin navigate over huge distances when they migrate.
Oh, yeah. I've always wondered how birds can navigate so well without maps or GPS or anything. What's the quantum connection?
There's more and more evidence that birds use a magnetic sense to navigate. It's like they have a compass inside them, sensing Earth's magnetic field.
A compass built in. That's incredible. How does it work? Is there some kind of magnetic stuff in their bodies that lines up with the Earth's field?
It's not that simple. The main theory is that their magnetic sense depends on something called radical pairs. They're super sensitive to magnetic fields. And these radical pairs, they form inside a protein called cryptochrome, which is found in the bird's eyes.
Okay, so these radical pairs are sensitive to magnetic fields, and they're in a bird's eye. How does that become a sense of direction? How do they actually see the magnetic field?
This is where it gets interesting. When light hits cryptochrome, it creates those radical pairs, and the two electrons in the pair can become entangled. Remember, entanglement means they're linked, even if they're not together.
Right, entangled electrons that are sensitive to magnetic fields, and it's all in a bird's eye. This is getting cool.
The key is that the Earth's magnetic field can actually change how chemical reactions involving these entangled pairs turn out.
Hold on. The Earth's magnetic field can actually affect molecules reacting inside a bird's eye.
That's the idea. The thinking is that these different chemical reactions, influenced by the magnetic field, send signals to the bird's brain. These signals give the bird info about the magnetic field's direction, helping it navigate.
So tiny quantum events in a bird's eye could guide them across continents. That's amazing.
It is. And avian navigation is just one example. Quantum mechanics might also be part of photosynthesis, how plants use sunlight for energy.
Photosynthesis is already pretty cool. How does quantum mechanics fit in?
Well, think about this. Plants are really good at catching sunlight, way better than our solar panels. It could be because of a quantum thing called coherence.
Coherence. What does that mean here?
Imagine the energy from sunlight as a wave. Normally, this energy would bounce around randomly in the plant's molecules, but with quantum coherence, the energy can explore many paths at the same time, like it's taking every route at once.
So instead of bouncing around, the energy uses superposition to find the best path to where it can be used, like the plant is running a quantum search.
Exactly. It's super efficient. The plant can move energy to where it's needed much faster.
Plants using quantum algorithms? Amazing. So birds might navigate using entanglement, and plants might use coherence to get energy from the sun. Are there any other examples of quantum mechanics in biology?
There are. There's more research suggesting that our sense of smell, olfaction, might use quantum mechanics too.
Our sense of smell. Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Some researchers think quantum tunneling might be how our noses tell the difference between smells.
How could tunneling be part of smelling things?
Well, our noses have receptors, proteins that bind to odor molecules, letting us smell things. But how these receptors tell the difference between molecules is still a bit of a mystery.
So we don't really know how we smell.
Well, the usual idea where the molecule has to fit perfectly into the receptor doesn't really explain how sensitive and specific our noses are. Some molecules with very similar shapes can smell really different, while others with different shapes can smell similar.
So there's more to it than just the shape.
Right, that's where quantum tunneling comes in. Maybe instead of fitting in perfectly, the odor molecule tunnels through a barrier in the receptor.
So the molecule uses quantum mechanics to sort of teleport into the receptor.
It's not teleportation, but it's a way for the molecule to get past a barrier it couldn't normally. And the chances of this tunneling happening would depend on how much the odor molecule vibrates.
So different molecules would have different chances of tunneling, and that's how we tell them apart.
Exactly. That could explain why molecules that look the same but vibrate differently smell different, and why molecules that look different but vibrate similarly can smell the same.
Wow, that's amazing. So even our sense of smell might depend on quantum mechanics. It seems like the more we look, the more we see quantum mechanics connected to life.
It does seem that way. We're just at the start of exploring this connection between quantum mechanics and biology.
It makes you wonder, if quantum mechanics is so important for biology, could life itself be a result of these quantum principles? It's crazy to think these quantum things, entanglement, superposition, it's all happening in living things all the time. It really changes how you see the world.
It really does. Makes you realize we don't know much about life at all. For so long, we've just looked at biology in a normal way, but it's becoming clear that we need to include this quantum view to understand how life really works.
So if quantum mechanics is so basic to biology, does that mean life itself is like a result of these quantum principles?
That's a big question, one that scientists are working on right now, and it changes a lot of things. We've always kept physics and biology separate, but quantum biology is showing us they're connected. The same rules that control atoms and tiny particles might be responsible for life appearing and changing over time.
That's wild. It's like the universe uses the same rules for everything, the smallest things to the most complicated living things. It makes you wonder what else is out there in the quantum world, what else we haven't found yet.
Absolutely. And we're just getting started in quantum biology. As we learn more, we'll probably find even more surprising connections between quantum mechanics and living things.
It's exciting to think about what we can do with this research. If nature already uses these quantum things, can we learn from it? Can we make new technologies based on them?
For sure. You know the idea of copying nature to solve our problems? Biomimicry. It's already led to so many inventions. Quantum biology gives us a whole new set of ideas. Imagine making super efficient solar panels, like how plants use quantum coherence in photosynthesis, or super sensitive magnetic sensors, like the bird compass.
It sounds like we're about to see a quantum biology revolution, changing how we understand life and bringing new technologies too.
I think so. As we learn more about quantum biology, we're not only understanding nature better, but also creating new possibilities in medicine, technology, and even our understanding of the universe.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to finish our deep dive into the quantum world. It's been an amazing trip. So many mind-blowing ideas and cool insights.
I've really enjoyed talking about this with you.
And to everyone listening, keep your minds open and keep exploring. The quantum world is full of surprises waiting to be discovered.